Right. This is the a mimer connected to Chof of, um, but it's in the Parshas Vayera, the Haftorah of the portion of Vayera. In Maimorim Mulukotim, it is the in Chelik Aleph. It's the 37th mimer, and he bases himself on the pasuk of the Haftorah of the Parshas Vayera of this week's Haftorah in the Parshas Vayera. Over there, there's a story told about a woman who was a wife from the Nevi'im. The Pasuk discusses over there about this woman who was Menishei HaNevi'im. He's going to translate the entire Pasuk as a metaphor for the Neshama. The Neshama, the Nefesh Elikis, is coming and is complaining that it doesn't have the Abba V'yira. In the pasuk, it talks like this. It says this woman was screaming to Elisha, saying that your servant, my husband was from the Bnei Hanevim. He was one of the followers of Elisha, and she says to him, you know that he was a God-fearing man. And now I became so poor that the noisha bolokachas shnei yilodai loy la'avodim, the debtor, the one I owe the money to, is coming to take away my two children. What should I do? So Elisha tells her, what can I do for you? Tell me, what is there in your home? What do you have? She says, I have nothing. All what I have is one jug of oil. So Elisha tells her, go ahead and borrow vessels from all your neighbors, and you should put in from that jug into those vessels. So she did so. She closed the door and she kept on. Miraculously, that jug kept on filling up. She filled up all the vessels. And then he told her, Elisha, after there was no more empty vessels, he told her, go and sell the oil and pay back those people you owe the money. And then he says to her, you and your children will live with what's left over from the money that you sold. So the Rebbe explains this now, brings down from the Alter Rebbe that this is a metaphor for the soul who's crying out that it doesn't have left any of the love to Hashem, and actually the Nefesh HaBahamis is trying to snatch away her children, meaning the love and the fear of Hashem. And the response of Elisha is to go ahead and do Torah mitzvahs even without Abba V'yira, which are the children. And then it'll be Yisra and Banoiser, Yisra and B'techa Choshech. Let's look inside and we'll see how beautifully this metaphor fits in with the words of the pasuk that the Rebbe brings down. P'siyaita d'Shmaya, this is early Yom Beis, Parshas Chayisora. So this was Sunday night before the portion of Chayisora, which was the 20th of Marcheshvan in the year Tavshim Vav. This mimer was later on printed in a kuntres, in a booklet for Chof Marcheshvan Tavshin Nun, for Shabbos Vayera Chof Marcheshvan that comes upon us, the birthday of the Rebbe Rashab, was dated on the 15th of Marcheshvan Shnasei Tavshin Nun. So that's when it was published. But the Rebbe gave this mimer on Sunday night, the eve of Monday, which was the 20th day of Marcheshvan, the birthday of the Rebbe Rashab. And he quotes from the Haftorah of Parshas Vayera. So it says, "V'isha achas minishei b'nei hanevim." So there was a woman who was from the wives of the Bnei Hanevim. Bnei Hanevim, uh, those that were being trained to be Nevi'im. They were in the group of Elisha. So this woman lost her husband. Her husband died. She was Minashei Bnei Hanevim. And Tzaka Elisha Goimer. She cries out to Elisha. So V'yodu Maimer Admur Hazokin Al Haposik. So it's known the saying of the Alter Rebbe on this pasuk. The Isha hi haneshama. When it says this Isha, this woman is the neshama. Why do we call her Isha Achas? There was one woman. Isha Achas means in this context, in the metaphor, Benikra Isha Achas Kihi Achas im Havaya. Because she is one with Hashem. The neshama, the Isha Achas, the neshama is Achas, is one. It is united with Hashem. Who is this Isha Achas, this neshama that is connected to Hashem? It's Minishei B'nei Hanevim. This is from the wives of the B'nai Hanevim, the B'nai Hanevim, the Nevi'im prophets, those who are being trained in for prophecy. She was one of the wives of the B'nai Hanisim. What does it mean in this context? Nevi'im also, Nevi'im means prophets, but Nevi'im also comes from the lashon of expression, of speech. As the pasuk says, Ki Nevi'im is meloshen niv sefosayim. The movement of the lips, basically speech. This neshama is minishei b'nei hanevim. She is a recipient from the level of dibur from malchus, who mekablim mebechinas dvar havaya. They receive from the Var Haneshama, of the Var Havaya. So, Isha Achas, this Neshama, the Nefesh Alikis, or the Neshama, is receiving, was a recipient, the Shei, the woman of the recipient of Bnei HaNevi'im, of the level of Dvar Havaya. And she's on Neshama. Why is she on Neshama, the Shei, the recipient? Because v'haneshama he klei kibul lekabolas hasoges v'gilu elukus. The neshama is a vessel, a recipient vessel to receive grasping and the revelation of godliness. So that's why it's neshei b'nei hanevim. So this is a metaphor for the neshama who is one and receives from the level of Dvar Havaya from Hashem. And she cries out to Elisha. Who's Elisha? Elisha is made up of two words. Ois Yois is the level of Keli Shah. Hashem turns to me, to him, which means a Lai Shah or Keli Shah, who HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So this is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So basically the Neshama cries out to Elisha, to Keli Shah, to Hashem, to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So what is the context over here in our pasuk? Elisha, this is the context of the pasuk. There was this one woman that was crying out to Elisha, that is the soul that cries out, screams to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What is the neshama screaming to Hashem? She's saying, Avdecha ishi meis. your servant, who was my husband, died. What is the neshama meaning metaphorically? Ishi means also Eish Shali or Eish Yud. So he's saying Eish Yud, that my fire for Yud, for Hashem, died. He doesn't have any more that fire of love and to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Abdecha Ishi, Mace, it died. Ishi, who Eish Yud. Ishi is Eish Yud. The Ha'ava, so what does it mean that the fire of Yud died? The Ha'ava, Kirish Eish Shahoya Etzli. That love that is like a sparkling fire that was by me, the neshama had that sparkling fire that it consisted. What did the fire? The fire was lihi kolel v'lihi botel b'bchinas yud, to be included and to be subjugated in the level of yud. That Eish Yud, that level of Yud. The Yud is Chochmah Ilah, that's the level of the supreme Chochmah that the Neshama have. Mace died. No longer has that Ava. Sha'achshav ein li ahava zu. Now I don't have that love anymore. Noishe bo lokachas eshnei yilodai loy lavodim. Noishe, the debtor, the one I owe money to, he's coming to take my two children as slaves to pay for the debt. What does it mean in the metaphor, as we're explaining with regards to the neshama? Who is the debtor? The debtor is the nefesh habahamis. That the nefesh habahamis, through the descent of the neshama in the world, he lost his fire to Hashem, and now the nefesh habahamis is coming. Who's the noisha? Wants to take away my two children. The two children is Abba v'Yira. Va'noisha miloshin kinashani elikim. Noisha comes from the loshin. It says he called him Ephraim or Menashe. The reason they called him Menashe, because Hashem has made me forget. So Nashani, the Noisha, the forgetter, the Nefesh HaBahamis, is forgetter, is making me forget, is taking away my two Abba v'Yira. Koyi al nefesh Nashani lekim koyi al Nefesh HaBahamis. V'hanoisha, which goes on the nefesh habahamis, shemeshakachas oisim elokus. It makes me forget from godliness, and it's taking away my two children, meaning my Abba v'Yira, ushnei yilodai. Who are the two children? Hema Abba v'Yira. That's the Abba Yira. Why is Abba Yira called Yilodai? Because like it says in Tanya, that the Midos are called Yilodai, they're Tuldes, they're born from the Moichin. And the main of the Midos, there is 6 Midos, 7 Midos, but there is Abba v'Yira are the main of these Midos. So those are the two children. That's the Abba v'Yira, K'mevur beTanya, as explained in Tanya. Shahamidos nikroim b'shem tuldos, that they're called the derivatives, the children, and therefore those are the midos. So the midos are being made forgotten. The nefesh habahamis forgets these midos, and he wants to. And the main midos is veikare midos hem Abba v'Yira. Love and the fear, that's the main. It's all the midas, but that's the main. That's why It's shnei, it's two yilodai, because those represent the two main midas, ava v'yira. What is the nefesh abahamis forgetting, but he's coming to take him away, means he wants to use ava v'yira for slaves to him, for negative things, for strange loves and yirazor. V'zehu v'hanoishe bo lokachas eshnei yilodai loy la'avodim. The debtor, the one I owe to, is coming to take my two children to him for slaves. What does it mean in this metaphor? Wants to take la'avis zores uliyirei zores, to strange loves and to strange fears, to go ahead and love and fear strange things instead of loving Hashem. I lost my fire to Hashem, and now they're trying to take the Abba V'Yira away to strangers. So this is two steps. First, he wants to make me forget the Abba V'Yira that the Nefesh Elokis has originally, Ishi, the Eish Yud. On top of that, he wants to use it and take away into captivity, slavery, my Abba V'Yira to strange loves. The noise of Lozesh and Nefesh HaBahamis, Mishakachas Oisim Elokus, and at the top of the fact that the animal soul makes me forget godliness. God forbid he wants to negate, take away, God forbid, the love and fear in godliness. More than that, he writes lokachas as Abba V'Yira the Nefesh Elikis. She, the Nefesh Abahamis, wants to take the love and the fear of the Nefesh Elikis, sheyiyu avodim lenefesh Abahamis, that they should become slaves to the animal soul. That is what the neshama is screaming out to Elisha, that the Nefesh HaBahamis is trying to forget, for the Nefesh Elikis to forget its love and the Eish Yud, and on top of that, is trying to get the love and fear to negative things, to Eish Zoros. What is the Eberster's response? Elisha. So what does Elisha says, etc.? Ma yeshloch babais. What do you have in your house? In this context, it means what is still left? What powers do you have left still, which the Nefesh HaBahamis cannot touch? Eize koiches nisharu l'cha. What kind of powers were left to you? She'ein lenefesh habahamis shlita alehem, that the animal soul does not dominate. What do you have left over? Batoimer. So what does the nefesh Elokis say? She says, Ein li shivchosech goimer ki im osuch shaman. Your maidservant has nothing, just one jug of oil. That represents, one jug of oil represents the essence of the neshama. The essence of the neshama, the nefesh habahamis cannot touch that osuch shaman. So she says, I have the osuch shaman. Sheloi nishar etzlo shum davar milvad etzem nekudas haneshama. Nothing is left by the nefesh Elokis, by the neshama. All what she has is that osuch shemen, that jug of oil. What is the idea? The Rebbe explains in the bracket now. What is osuch shemen? Shemen is chokhmah, and osuch shemen is the chokhmah in the soul. B'yeshloimar, the shemen hu chokhmah. That's the level of chokhmah, the chokhmah that's in the neshama. The shemen is chokhmah, b'chlal. any chokhmah, but osuch shaman, a jug of oil, who bechinas hachokhmah shebenefesh. That's the chokhmah in the soul, the level of chokhmah she'ein lenefesh habahamis shlita oleha. On the essence of the soul, the nefesh habahamis has no dominance, cannot challenge that. So therefore, the response of Elisha is what to do. By Yomer, so Elisha said, Lichi shali loch kelim min hachutz. Go and borrow vessels from the outside. Bring from the outside, kelim reikim al tamiti. Don't be stingy and bringing less empty vessels. Let there be plenty empty vessels. Meaning, what does that mean metaphorically? Bring as much empty vessels that you can. Which means, shetasek b'toira mitzvahs. What are these kelim? Kelim as occupying yourself in Torah mitzvahs. And the reason they're called kelim, shehem kelim la'oir havaya, they are vessels to Hashem's light. Now, learn Torah, do mitzvahs, occupy yourself in Torah mitzvahs. Those are kelim. And bring them from the outside. And these kelim are empty, which means they don't have Ava v'yira in themselves. They're empty kelim. So even right now, the Torah mitzvahs that she occupies herself, hem kelim reikim, they're empty vessels. B'li Ava v'yira, there's no Ava v'yira in there. Mikol mokoim al tamiti bahem. Still don't make diminish, don't take less. Don't bring in all the kelim. Bring in all the Torah mitzvahs you can, even though they're kelim reikim. Kelim reikim, they don't have Abba v'yira. They're empty. Just do the Torah mitzvahs without Abba v'yira. Just do Torah mitzvahs. And what you should do is v'yotzakto al kol hakelim ha'elu. You should sprinkle on all of these vessels from that jug of oil that you have left, from that essence of your neshama, from that osuch shaman, which is the nekudas, the point of Yiddishkeit, the level of chokhmah of the nefesh. You should sprinkle alcohol hakelim on all the vessel, ha'ela, on all these vessels. Which means, what does it mean to sprinkle? Lahamshich bohem hagilui the etzem haneshama. Draw down in them the revelations of the essence of the soul. While they may be kelim reikim without Abba v'yira, put in the essence of the soul from that osuch shaman into that Torah mitzvahs. This is al derech hamevur b'Tanya, similar to what's explained in Tanya. Shekiyum ha-Torah mitzvahs tolui b'zeh, that a person to fulfill Torah mitzvahs hinges sheyizkor tomid inya mesiras nafshe lahavaya, to always remember your self-sacrifice to Hashem. That's the way for a person to perform and to sustain his Torah mitzvahs, by always remembering your devotion, giving over your soul to Hashem. That idea that the Alter Rebbe discusses over there in the Tanya is the Mesiras Nefesh u'mitzad etzem haneshama. That Mesiras Nefesh comes from the essence of the soul. So put in that essence in the Torah mitzvahs. And when you do so, Azai, then he tells her, At Ubanayich tichya banoisa. You and your children will be living with the leftover or with the advantage. Yisrael, it takes ki Yisrael ha'oir haba min ha'choshech. As the noiser means the leftover, doesn't mean leftover. It means actually with the advantageous. The fact that you had these struggles, the fact that the neshama doesn't have the light, the chokhmah, that doesn't have the Abba v'yira the shnei banayich, and it's struggling with the nefesh habahamis who's trying to take away them into slavery. This actually brings out an advantageous now when you put in that mesiras nefesh from the soul, and it'll be ki yisrain ha'oir haba min ha'choshech. It will be like the advantage of light that comes from the darkness. That is the noisar, the advantage. The challenges that you have with the nefesh abahamis challenging you is ban noisar, brings out the advantage of light that comes min hachoshech. This is one interpretation in bring in as many empty vessels, which basically is saying as much empty vessels, even though you don't have Ava V'yira, but you sprinkle it with the Etzam Aneshama, with Mesiras Nefesh, and then you get the noiser, you get the advantage of even a greater light for the Neshama. There's another interpretation the Rebbe brings down now, that the empty vessels is not talking about Torah mitzvahs without Ava V'yira, but is talking about the level of a person being bittul, subjugation, feeling himself as an empty vessel, that not to look at yourself that you're great, but the in avoida is to take the level of be empty, meaning consider yourself empty. Another pirush in the kelim reikim al tamiti, sheyizboinen harbe. He should reflect a lot. Eich shehu klei reikom. You reflect on the fact that you're an empty vessel. Bli das b'moyach, without any seichel, any knowledge in your mind. Ubli d'chilu rechima, without love, without fear and love. Look at you where you're standing. Look at yourself and consider that and be humbled by that. And you will be very bitter that you're so far away. By being bitter on the lack that you do not have this level of moyach and chimo, through this, that way the light of the neshama will shine by you through that level of bittul, the level of bitterness for lacking the advantage. Brought down in the Zohar HaKodesh that the head of the academy in Gan Eden, he stated, Alter Rebbe brings this down in the Tanya as well, that sometimes you have a piece of thick wood. The loy solig bei nahoira, the light does not enter it. You can't get the light. You can't light up that wood. It's too thick. How do you get the fire to catch the wood? Is by mevachin le chulu. You break it up. You break it up, you bang it up. When you bang it up, you make it into smaller pieces, and then the fire will catch. And the same thing says the Rav Mesivta, that gufa de loy solik bein hoira de nishmasa. If you have a body in which the light of the neshama does not enter it, it rejects the neshama, mevachinlei, you break it up, the solik bein then the light will enter. So when you are bitter and you break up your yesh, your mitzias, by being bitter of the fact that you're lacking, that itself opens you up to be able to get the fire of Hashem back, so that you will not be in a level that you have ishi mace, I have no fire, and the fire is the other side. You will get back that fire through the level of bittul. And more than that, not only will the fire also be able to get to you when you break up the wood, that this light, which shines through this bitterness from the fact that you're an empty vessel, yesh lo yisrein al ha'oir k'moy shehu mitzad atzmai. That has an advantage over the light as it is on its own before you break yourself up. When you become bittul, the fire and the level of Abba V'yira that you reach through the level of bittul, through your bitterness of being lacking, you will get not just the regular fire and light of Hashem, but you'll get a Yisrein Ha'oir, Tichi Banoiser, make you a Yisrein Ha'oir. Ki Yisrein Ha'oir Habo Min HaCheshech Davke. And that is be like the advantage of light that comes from the darkness, and you have to break it up. And when you break it up, you get a higher level of oil. And this is therefore the translation of Ve'at Ubanayich, you and your Banayich, and this the Abba V'yira, Tichi will live Benoisar with the advantage of Yisrain Ha'ir. At hu etzem haneshama. You, that's the essence of the soul that always remain. Ubanayich heim tchilo rechimo shebechol neshama, which is in every neshama. Tichi banoisar, you will be sustained and living with the Yisrain, with the advantage. Ki Yisrain ha'oir mi'habo min ha'choshech, like the advantage of light that comes from the choshech. So basically, he gave her two interpretations in the Kelim Reikim. Either it means that the learn Torah without Abba V'yira and then give the shaman in there, and that will be Yisra Na'orim Abomen HaCheshech will have the advantage, or Kelim Reikim, make yourself humble, be bitter of your level, and that way, as a thick wood, you open yourself up to the fire of Hashem, which gives you a greater advantageous, even Yisra. And that's the pshat of At Ubanayich Tichiban Noiser, that you will get actually Noiser, you'll get the Yisrain Ha'oir Mitoich Habo Min HaChoshech. Okay, we'll mamshich this next time.
Okay, see you next time. Bye.